The September 18th meeting of the Colerain Township Zoning Commission will come to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Faring? Here. Mr. Brody?
Here.
Mrs. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Taylor? Mr. Westfall?
Here. Mr. Pace, would you please come take Mr. Taylor's place? The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the meeting of the August 21st, 2018 meeting. Does anybody have any additions or changes? None appearing, the chair would entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes of the August 21st, 2018 meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Faring?
Yes.
Mr. Brody?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
I abstain.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public address. This is where anybody that's here that has anything that they would like to bring before the zoning commission that is not on the agenda. This is where you do it. Is there anybody that wishes to talk to us about something that's not on the agenda? Next on the agenda is a public hearing on case ZA 2006-07 Triple Creek Retirement Community. It's a major amendment to a final development plan. Staff, do you have a report?
We do. Thank you, Mr. Westfall. Tonight's public hearing, is with respect to an addition request for the Triple Creek Skilled Nursing Facility located on Pippin Road, just north of 275. This existing facility was approved in 2006 for a little over 52,000 square feet of skilled nursing facilities, as well as 15 independent living duplexes, again located in the northeast corner of 275 and Pippin Road. The property is currently zoned PDB, a little different than some of the facilities that we've seen in recent months. It is not a PDR, it is a PDB. It is surrounded by single-family residential to the north, Triple Creek Park to the west, and then multifamily to the south and east across the highway there. Just a quick aerial image here looking southeast-ish. 275 is at the top of your screen there. This is looking west, and best place to see where that addition will go, highlighted there in yellow, the approximate location. The addition is, the request is for just under 2,500 square feet added onto the building, located on the northeast side of the existing building, again highlighted there in yellow. Here's a quick plan view of the proposal. The proposed addition does meet the minimum requirements of the zoning resolution with respect to the property line setbacks, parking, and lot coverage. Lighting, landscaping, that level of detail is not part of this application. As Mr. Westfall, you mentioned, this is a major modification to a preliminary development plan, not a final development plan, so we will see lighting, landscaping, and that type of thing in the final development plan phase of this project. Give you a little better look of the addition here. You'll see it in the top right corner, the proposed addition there. This request is to add 4 new units in that northeast corner, which would be 8 beds. This will bring total rooms, we'll move it up from 71 rooms to 74 rooms. I think they lose a room when they do this addition. And then total from 88 beds to 95 beds. Additionally, in this request are some interior alterations which do not affect this discussion. Quick little closer look at the proposed addition. This is in front of you as a major modification to a PDP because of the increase in density. In 2006, the trustees approved 18.0 beds per acre in the PDB, and this request is to increase that to 19.4 for the portion of the site containing the existing nursing home. Just a point of clarification that was in your packet. In case you're wondering, institutional housing is defined as 7 beds per acre, but that is within a residential district. So that's why it's important to know that this is in a planned district business. And the trustees in 2006 did approve 18 beds per acre already. So the request before you is simply to bump that up to 19.4 beds for this rather limited addition here. The applicant did provide some elevation drawings showing that they will be using the same materials and style of the existing building. And I do believe that this is a very attractive building. It was up there just this morning. If you haven't been up there, go take a look. It is very well maintained, very clean, very friendly environment. This is the front of the main facility there, kind of taking a look along Pippin Road. I believe we're looking south there in that top image. These are some images of those detached those duplex, what do we call them? Villas. Sorry. Nice and clean in through there. Another image of that. And actually you can see this is kind of from the far corner of the villas where they have their little turnaround, their little cul-de-sac, which is actually landscaped. It's nice. Behind that tree is where, across kind of the field there is where this addition will go. So this is standing again in that cul-de-sac area of those separate villas. The addition would be in this, kind of on the right side of this image here in that field at the top of the hill there. Better image of that. You can see on the right of both of these images some pretty significant and well-maintained vegetation, which is a buffer from that immediately adjacent single-family residential. It's actually pretty difficult to see that residential, which does sit right behind there, so it's buffered really well. And then this is, on that top corner, you can see the service driveway that's looking out towards Pippin Road, and then as I turned around, this is kind of the service area, but around that corner to the right is where the addition would be, and again to the left is that pretty full vegetation that you can see from the buffering from the single-family residential. I did want to note that this did go before the Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission on September 6th, and they did recommend approval with a unanimous 6-0 vote. It's before you tonight for your recommendation to the Board of Trustees. It's anticipated that we'll be taking this to the Board of Trustees on October 9th. All of that said, staff does recommend approval of the major modification to the PDP with the following conditions. 1, that all conditions approved as part of Colerain ZA 2006-07 shall remain in effect for the subject site. 2, that a final development plan be submitted for review and approval by the Colerain Zoning Commission. And 3, that the proposed development be permitted a maximum density of 19.4 beds per acre, where 18 beds per acre was approved on the previously approved plan. Does the board have any questions for staff at this time?
Mr. Ferry?
How many acres is the total?
Just under 5.
Mr. Pace?
No, sir.
Mrs. Smith?
No, sir.
Mr. Grody? No. Okay. You done good.
So far.
Does the applicant have any presentation? By the way, we drove through there last night. It is very well kept. I will say that.
Well, thank you. My name is Michael Brandon with the Mannequin Smith Group. We're the civil engineers, surveyors, and more for Trilogy Health Services. I think the presentation's pretty complete in what we are looking to do. So I'm here to answer any questions or provide any additional information you might need.
Mr. Grody, do you have any questions?
None.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes, I know it's a small increase, but will you need a increase in parking spots?
We will not.
Will not?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Pace?
No question.
Mr. Ferry?
No, I won't comment on what you said to Tom. They do take very good care of that. I've been by there many times. I have a friend that lives there, so yeah, looks good.
Well, thank you.
I have no questions. Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to open the public hearing part of this.
So moved.
I'll second that.
It's been moved. Do we need a roll call on this? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we open the public input portion of this. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Faring?
Yes.
Mr. Grody?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
I have no names on here that anybody that would like to speak to it. Would you? The chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing portion of this.
So moved.
I'll second that also.
It's been moved and seconded that we close the public hearing. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Faring?
Yes.
Mr. Grody?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Aye. Does staff have any questions or any discussion they'd like about this? I personally think it's pretty clean. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
I think if you're ready for a motion, Mr. Westfall, I'd make a motion that regarding parcel ZA 2006-07 Triple Creek Retirement Community, that the amendment to the preliminary development plan be approved as is presented to us this evening.
With the recommendations on it, conditions, I'm sorry. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept case 2006-07 Triple Creek Retirement Community Major Amendment to a final plan. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Faring?
Yes.
Mr. Grody?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Aye. Okay, good luck. Next on the agenda is an informal concept review we do not have. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? The administration have anything they'd like to say?
Well, we've got just a couple of administrative items very quickly. The Comprehensive Plan Land Use Committee was appointed by the Board of Trustees at their last meeting. Mr. Faring will be representing this body on that board. We're going to be looking to start those meetings here very soon, and actually Mr. Henson's on that board as well, that committee as well. And then secondly, Mr. Taylor's resignation. He was reassigned out of state for his
Way out of state
for his job. So he unfortunately had to resign. I do have to say, though, I think that this is at a good time because in October we will be looking to call for applications for the next round. Because as you know, one primary member and one alternate member, their term expires every year, so we kind of have a rotation. So we'll go through and we'll call for applications and resumes. In October, we'll likely conduct any interviews that we need to do. If we have not already interviewed somebody, we'll do that in November. Hopefully to have those recommendations in front of the Board of Trustees for appointment in December so that we don't miss a beat in January. So
Cool. Okay.
that's all we have.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Taylor's not watching, but I wish him the best of luck.
Absolutely.
And I think that I'd like to have that assignment for a while. He's going to Hawaii. Okay, any announcements?
Do we have any further word on the bank that was supposed to go in by Northgate Mall?
I do not, but now that we're talking still, I remember we do have the the OKI APA conference coming up, and I'd very much like to see as many board members as possible attend that Friday portion on October 5th.
Okay.
Please send me an email so we can get you registered for that. There's a cost associated with that, so I do need to, Mr. Grody, I can follow up
I'll send it to you tomorrow.
with your email that you had sent me about that after the meeting.
Where is it being held?
It's downtown, I don't remember, do you
At
remember?
the Hilton.
The Hilton.
The Hilton down by Fountain Square.
Oh, okay.
So back to the bank, we have no idea of what they're going to do.
They had fencing up at one point, and then the
Then
fencing
they
came
took it down, yeah.
Heard anything about Kroger?
They're still
Go
moving
by
along.
and look.
I can't pay.
They're still moving along.
They want to be open by Christmas.
about
We've
that.
seen permit requests come in for signage, so I think they're moving along pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard they wanted to be open by Christmas. So, cool. Next meeting, November 20th. If there's no other business to become before the board,
We do not have anything lined up for October, so
I'm sorry.
we're aiming for
I'm sorry,
November
it
20th.
says
It
November.
does, because we don't have anything lined up for
Oh,
October.
okay, gotcha. Okay, if it's not here by now, we can't. Okay. The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
We move to second and we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.